I'm a 29-year-old man and my now ex-fiancée, also 29 years old, and I were together for 5 years. Under normal circumstances, we should have been married by now. But I ended our relationship and canceled the wedding just 2 days before the ceremony after discovering that male strippers were at her bachelorette party. Personally, I'm not a fan of these kind of parties, but I reluctantly agreed to both the bachelor and bachelorette celebrations after both sides promised to keep things simple. I specifically told my fiancée that I wasn't comfortable with strippers or anything wild, and she agreed. I also warned my friends that if they planned anything inappropriate behind my back, we would have problems. So, my bachelor party was exactly what we discussed. Nothing crazy. My friends and I stayed at a friend's summer house, hung out by the pool, played board games, and even did some World of Warcraft raids. Clearly, my interests were very different from hers. Meanwhile, my fiancée and her friends went to a restaurant and then rented an Airbnb. There were no issues that night, and the next day, when I asked her how things went, she and her closest friends described the night as chill and relaxing. Everything seemed fine, until later that day, I ran into another bridesmaid while shopping for a bracelet for my fiancé's upcoming birthday. Since we went to the same college, I casually asked her how the party went. She responded, "It was fun. Last night was crazy with all the strippers." Wait, what? I was shocked and asked her to repeat what she just said, realizing her mistake. She suddenly looked uncomfortable and refused to give me any more details. At that moment, I knew something wasn't right. I simply laughed, said goodbye, and left. Later, I confronted my fiancée. She looked surprised at first and denied everything. But as I kept pressing, she finally admitted that strippers were there, but insisted that it wasn't her fault and that one of her bridesmaids had invited them. Oh, come on. Yes, it's possible that a bridesmaid or a groomsman could arrange something unexpected, but that wasn't the point. I reminded her that this was a clear boundary for me, and she had agreed to it. I asked her for more details, but she downplayed it, saying that it was just a few solo dances and that nothing serious happened. Right. At that point, I told her I needed time to think. Suddenly, almost all of her bridesmaids messaged me, trying to convince me that nothing happened, which was way too suspicious. Clearly, they had coordinated their responses to cover for her. After thinking it over, I made my decision. I ended the relationship and canceled the wedding. I wasn't going to marry someone who broke a promise and then tried to cover it up, even if she wasn't the one who invited the strippers. She could have put her foot down and said, "This isn't okay," but she didn't. Of course, canceling a wedding only 2 days before meant losing a lot of money, and things have been tough ever since. My mind is all over the place, and I'm getting criticized by almost everyone. I have no idea what to do next. My sister even suggested I see a therapist to help process everything, and I think I might take her advice. Some mutual friends told me I should reconsider and stop being so dramatic over something so small. No, if they think lying, deception, and broken trust are small things, then I don't need them in my life. Am I wrong here? Honestly, I don't think so. My gut tells me that I made the right decision. I set a clear boundary, and it was disrespected. At the end of the day, this is my life, my relationship, and my choice. The comment section on this story was divided. Many people sided with me, saying I handled things correctly, while others accused me of being controlling, insecure, and overreacting. One person wrote, "You are being unreasonable. Now that you're broken up, she's free to find someone who's fun and non-judgmental." Some people strongly criticized his decision, saying he overreacted and should have stood by his fiancée no matter what. One person said, "I would never even think about canceling a wedding unless there was actual cheating involved. A stripper is just part of the experience. Your fragile ego is making you feel this way. How can you ask a woman to marry you and then back out over something so silly? It seems like you were looking for an excuse. You're the bad guy here. Love your partner unconditionally, no matter what she does." Another commenter wrote, "You're completely in the wrong for this. Oh my God, why would you throw your entire future away over something so trivial? Just because a few guys in thongs showed up? What a waste." And another said, You destroyed your whole relationship with someone you wanted to spend your life with just because her friends got carried away and invited strippers to the party? What are you thinking, man? He read all these comments, and many more criticizing him. But then, an update changed everything, and those same people might have to eat their words. He shared, I read most of the comments on my original post, and I appreciate the advice. My problem wasn't just that her friends blindsided her with the strippers. It was the fact that she lied about it. Every bridesmaid told me something different, and none of them gave real details about what happened. You can understand how that destroys trust. And without trust, there is no relationship. He continued, At first, I started to doubt myself after reading so many comments saying I was wrong. I even thought I should apologize. But then, one of the bridesmaids reached out to me last night. I think she saw the post somewhere and recognized the situation. I already knew my ex-fiancée had been having issues with some of her friends recently, but I had no idea just how bad it was. Apparently, after everything came to light, his ex-fiancée and her close friends turned against a bridesmaid he had met at the mall. They blamed her for everything, saying she had broken the sister code by letting it slip. This caused a huge argument within their friend group. Then the truth came out. The bridesmaid revealed that things did, in fact, get intimate with the strippers. His fiancée was the only one at the party in a committed relationship. Everyone else was single. But instead of being blindsided, she was actually thrilled when the strippers showed up and even relieved that she had an excuse for it. He admitted, I don't approve of everything she told me, but she did send me a short video. In it, I saw the girls making out with the strippers, including my ex-fiancée. And that was all he needed. As expected, his ex-fiancée tried to do damage control. Since the breakup, she had been desperately trying to contact him. When he confronted her again, she denied everything at first. Then, little by little, the truth started trickling out. First, she said, we just touched. Then, okay, we kissed too. Then, fine, I gave him a hand job. And finally, I was pressured into doing all of it by my friends. Right. At that point, he had heard enough. He simply blocked her. There was no reason to keep digging. He already knew the truth, and it was more than enough. He admitted, it already hurt to break up, but learning that she actually cheated hurt even more. And honestly, I don't even know if I've gotten the full truth yet. I probably never will. But one thing is clear, I made the right decision. Now, he's planning to go to therapy, so he doesn't carry this emotional baggage into his next relationship. The breakup cost him around $15,000 in wedding-related expenses, but he knows that's nothing compared to what he could have lost in a marriage to the wrong person. He also addressed some of the ridiculous comments he received, saying, some people made weird remarks about me being insecure and boring just because I played World of Warcraft at my bachelor party. But isn't the whole point of a bachelor party to have fun? For me, fun meant spending time with my friends, gaming, and hanging out. It definitely didn't mean having some stranger's body all over me. If that's what marriage means to you, I don't know what to tell you. At the end of his update, he wrote, therapy starts tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who gave me real advice. This guy handled the situation exactly as he should have, by not tolerating dishonesty or betrayal. 2 days before the wedding, he must have been under immense pressure from family and friends, all telling him to forgive her and move on. But he stood his ground. And now, those who mocked him in the comment section have to face the truth. He was right, and she got exactly what she deserved. This story is also a perfect example of why it's so important to pay attention to the kind of people your partner surrounds themselves with. If your girlfriend's closest friends are all single, constantly partying, and living wild lifestyles, you need to be cautious. Some people don't like seeing others happy in relationships, and they'll sabotage it out of jealousy, immaturity, or their own personal issues. This applies to guys as well. It's not just about women. If you're in a committed relationship, but your partner's entire social circle consists of people who make reckless choices, it's something you should seriously consider before moving forward.